Hey guys, Meg is here, and what do we have today? Well, we have something interesting. This is Heiyankyo Alien, and this is the Game Boy port of it, which is very important to me, and it's a story that I shall tell for this review. But guys, let's rock it out with this game, because this game is actually pretty kick-ass. Now, a lot of you know I'm fans of Jeremy Parish's channel, and he mentions this game like all the fucking time, and I love Jeremy Parish's channel, he mentions it, but that's not why I'm doing it. I'm doing it because this game is personal to me, and I suck at it too. Little reviews, you could tell. Just a little note on my reviews. If otherwise noted, all my videos will contain my gameplay. Unless it's for something modern that I can't really capture, I won't be having gameplay of my own. I'll do the common borrow use pack, whatever the fuck you call that. And there you go. So anyhow, this is Heiyankyo Alien, and this game is this is Game Boy port released in 1990, and it is based off of the PC game Heiyankyo Alien, released in '79. It was developed by the Theoretical Science Group at the University of Tokyo, and man, this game has quite a legacy. It is a very early, might even be the first Maze game. I don't know. This predates Pac-Man by a year at least. And in this game, basically, the premise is this takes place in feudal Japan. You are a police officer in the city of Heiankyo, which is what is now known as Kyoto. Heiankyo was the capital city of it. The story is in feudal Japan, some aliens come, but you find out that the only way to defeat them is digging holes, so you run away from them and you dig holes. You're a cop. Pretty simple, but I got a lot to say about this game because right now, when you play the Game Boy version, there are two modes. There's old and there's new. Now, old, what you're seeing here is, this is the game as, this is the Game Boy's take on the original version of Heiyankyo Alien. Because there is more to this cartridge than just this. This is the old version. This is what Heiyankyo Alien looked like back in the day. Now, for my story, when I got my Game Boy in 1991, and I got two games. Obviously, I got the Pac-Man Tetris, and I got this game. I didn't get Mario World. I didn't get that till a couple months later, but I got this game. It was one of the last things I got from my mom before I moved in, so this game moved away. So this game was very special for me. And what's cool is I played this game way more than I did Tetris at first. I did play a lot of fucking Tetris, but this game was interesting. And if you look at the box cover art to an 8-year-old, it's like, what the fuck, what the fuck is this? Well, this is strange, Can't even pronounce the fucking name as a kid, as an 8-year-old. But, you know what? What I found was the game was simple enough for me to play, and it was fun. I had a lot of fun. Now, what you're seeing here is the other aspect of the card, too, just before I go on with my story. This is sort of the remake, and this is where the game really shines. Like, the original was fun and all. This remake aspect is really a lot of fun. The mazes change, the outlines change, and there's two different types of aliens, and there's barriers and obstacles, and look at those sprites. They look fucking good. I mean, this is really good sprite work. I mean, the maps themselves are pretty basic, but I think the character sprites are really well animated, especially for a Game Boy game. I mean, they're nice and they're pretty good size, especially for that. And I mean, let's not lie, these are pretty good sprites. Now back to my tale. I played this, like I said, didn't know what it was. This was a strange game in the box, but when I put it in, there's nothing strange about it. It was fucking fun. And what's interesting about this remake part, as opposed to what I showed you earlier, the original version, if you want to call it old, which is an adaptation of the original. This one, you move bigger, you move smoother, not saying the old one has its charm. There's different gameplay mechanics. For example, one of the key differences between this and the old mode is, for example, if you have an alien in a hole in the old mode and you die, the alien remains in the hole. Whereas when you die in this mode, everything resets. Like, if you kill two aliens, but you get killed by one more in the new mode, everything resets back to normal. Whereas in the old one, things don't reset necessarily. Like I said, there's times when I died in the old mode, and monsters are still trapped in the hole. So it's interesting, but it works for both modes. Like you saw now, I just died, and it is resetting the game. But the new one has, if you see these little boxes here that look like blades, those are barriers. So what those do is you can sometimes barricade yourself with a hole and protect yourself. But some areas have these areas that, have the blades, but then they sink in. What that means is when they, disappear, sink in, whatever, the enemy can pass through them. So if you barricade yourself in an area, it's not necessarily mean you're safe. This is, the thing about this game that I like is more so than a lot of maze games, is it's really about territory control. And this motherfucker's chasing me. Oh my god, can I make it? Fuck. Come on, motherfucker. Oh my god, I remember playing this. This is crazy to watch. Fucking bastard's chasing me. Get off me, motherfucker! Oh, there you go, bitch. Please. That's what I tell this motherfucking alien. Bitch, please. And that's the end of that. But anyway, let me continue. It's really about territory control. Like you look at the second level in particular. This is what's interesting about it, and see the different barriers change. This is an interesting mechanic. So I'm kind of protecting myself with this hole right here that I did. But any of the barriers that open, and I'm actually pointing at the screen as you can fucking see me doing it, see, they can still sneak through. So I have a pretty good blockade, but then I have this one on the, this opening by the console I made, and they can sneak through. So it's really about controlling your territory by using the holes to take as barriers. But you also got to watch, because there's some random elements of the barriers closing. I think, again, Heiyankyo Alien, more so than any other maze game, like a lot of people talk about territory control and say Pac-Man or Miss Pac-Man, and that is certainly true, especially if you've played something as recent as Pac-Man 99, which is fucking awesome. I can play Pac-Man 99, play that shit. That shit's fun. They're pretty complicated. It can be a little bit of a learning curve, but it's pretty fucking awesome. But with this game, what's really neat about it is that you really have to focus on what you're doing and where you control and where you have to have a lot of awareness. So the maps change, obviously. You have to really, it's not simply just knowing the maps. You have to know what each map does and the barriers and things like that, and when to trap the alien, because there's a couple elements I didn't bring up. If an alien is in the hole and another alien touches them, which has killed me many times, that alien will break free of the hole and eat you. So you got to be aware of that. And it's also using the holes to divert the aliens to... The holes can also, sometimes aliens looks like their AI looks like they're just... It may look a little erratic, but sometimes you notice that they do avoid the holes. Now I better hurry my ass up and dig this motherfucker down. Set him to an early grave, right? Bitch, please. I'm gonna say that a lot during this. But as I watch this makes me want to play. I think I'm gonna play this motherfucker more, because, man, this is really a fun game, and watching it is just a lot of fun to watch. Now, again, the legacy of this game is pretty important. You got to look at it this way. You have those digging games like Load Runner, Space Panic, things like that. The Maze Chase games. Now, this game probably had an influence on Pac-Man in a certain way, whereas Pac-Man's about consuming, this is about just pure territory control. See, right now, I just completely controlled it. Then you can easily lose control of that area if you do the barrier, so there's that random element. What I like, too, is that each map in the new mode, you beat it 3 times. The first time it's a little easy, it gets a little harder, and it gets a little harder, and then you move on to the next map. And I'm showing you up to the second map. I don't recall how far I got as a kid, but it was pretty far. And I know there's an ending to this game, because I've seen it on YouTube. But otherwise, there's not really a story. But this is why I like Japanese games. Let's talk about this for a quick second, because I constantly complain. I've always complained about how first-person shooters. I'll give you an example. E3 a couple weeks ago, I watched Microsoft didn't do anything for me. If it did for you, great. But watching something like Battlefield just felt so hollow and such. But with a lot of Japanese games, I feel there's not saying there's bad Western games, because there are Western games I do like. Don't go into this thinking there's some xenophobic thing about me and Western games. But I just find myself naturally drawn to Japanese games because they have crazy, quirky ideas like that. And contextually, those ideas attract me more. Video games is a genre where... Think about this. This is what I love about video games. one of its most well-known characters in a video game is not something as simple as a cartoon mouse or a cartoon rabbit. It's a fucking cartoon Italian plumber who grows big with mushrooms, lives in a kingdom of weird talking toads that sound like that, rescue princesses from fucking dragon monsters and all kinds of weird folks, and live in these very, the Mario universe can be very, what's the word, almost very cartoonish, but in a surreal way, very surrealistic. A lot of JRPGs have a surrealism to them. This game surely has its surrealism to it. So, I mean, that's why I'm drawn, and Heiyankyo Alien is a prime example of why I love Japanese games so much, because it's just, I mean, who the fuck would have thought, oh, let's make a story about feudal Japan, where this guy digs holes and puts aliens in it. Like, they come up with these crazy ideas, and that's what I love about video games, is this is a genre where, you know, a mainstream movie is something like, you know, oh, guns a-blazing, I get my kick, fucking ghost and die. We're gonna see a little bit of normal mode again, but as I end this review, that's what I really like about it. Now, before we go into old mode, again, this has no sound to it, unfortunately, the old mode. But the new mode has a killer fucking soundtrack. This game's soundtrack, it has like this old Japanese style, but it's so upbeat. It's upbeat as like music from that era, you know, from, you know, it's got like that traditional Japanese sound mixed with that sort of Mario upbeatness. You know, there's also another song that sounds a little bit with a tinge of panic, but there's still upbeatness. You know, you're kind of like, you're playing against it, and you know you can be fucked if you don't fuck up. The soundtrack is killer, and there is a video Jeremy Parish did put up of a promotional tape that they did for this game. I think I might have gotten that tape. I don't recall. But the tape came with the game, and it has a really cool remix of the soundtrack. Just to let you know, the Game Boy version is, you know, was done by, I believe, Mednac? I can't, let's see. I'm looking it up. Yeah, I'm Wikipediaing. I'll be Wikipediaing up, guys. Okay, look. Mednac, like our record, I think. They really did a good job. It was a very good early example of a soundtrack, and man, it's a good soundtrack. I'm trying to post a link to Jeremy Parish's videos here on it. Again, if you can play the Game Boy version, there is a version on Steam. It's pretty fun, but I don't know. I really like the Game Boy remake of it. And the only place to find it is in Game Boy. You know where to find it. You know how to play it. Playing it the same way I'm playing it. Play on the Game Boy or through other means. So, this is a good game. Heiyankyo Alien, for what it is and contextual, I will give it a 9 out of 10. I think the old mode can be a little stifling, a little slow for some folks, but otherwise I think the game is solid. I don't see any issues, tech issues, bugs, anything that really hurts this game. It's a solid game. Is it the greatest game ever made? It's a very special game to me. It's personal, like, you know, Xenogears or something like that, but it's a lot of fun. So make sure you guys check out Heiyankyo Alien. I will give it a 9 out of 10, you know, for the sake that, you know, it is what it is. So it's game over, yeah. So with that, guys,